Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to show y'all how I spiced up this old wig of mine and added a nice cut and color to it. Okay, so I like to use some of the Blonde Me by Schwarzkopf, and it can lift the hair up to about 9 levels with the developer. The developer is very creamy on this one, and then you just need your comb and your brush and your foils. So I'm about to take pretty much probably about maybe 2 to 3 scoops of the bleach and put it in a bowl. And you would just pretty much have to determine that depending on how thick or thin the hair is that you're using. Okay, so once you get it in the bowl, you're going to pretty much mix it until it gets like a creamy consistency. You don't want it to be too watery, too runny, or too thick, but just a nice consistency so that way it can penetrate through the foil to get to the back of the hair. And you'll see what I mean a little later in the video once we start actually applying the developer or start applying the bleach to the foils. But you're just going to keep mixing and mixing and mixing until you get it to a nice creamy consistency. Okay, so next we're going to section the hair off, and I like to part mine into 4 sections. That way it helps you gain control over the hair. So I just like to start just parting off from ear to ear on one side. Then you're going to grab your clip and clip that hair out of the way again just to gain control. Then I'm going to go over to the left side and again part that pretty much from the crown to the other side of your ear, and get another clip, section that off, and clip that up. And then we're going to move to the back section and pretty much part that straight down the middle. You're going to pretty much part that straight down the middle. So pretty much when you're working with wigs, weaves, or extensions, your part, and it won't exactly fall like it would on the actual human hair. You just have to work it by the rows. So I like to go track by track in most cases. So we're gonna pretty much start off with the bottom section, and I just took the first row. So we're gonna start off in a weaving section, and you're gonna do like the thin weaving sections because we're doing really small highlights. We're not doing the chunky highlights. So you're just weaving it in and out with the rat tail of your comb, and you're gonna release that bottom section, and you're gonna foil the top section. So your foils, again, they're already gonna be pre-cut out, and then you're just gonna paint the bleach onto the hair and start out going in a feathery motion, so that way it increases your chances of having those demarcation lines, and those demarcation lines meaning those hard lines. So you just pretty much want to start just feathering that top portion because we're not blending any colors, but you definitely don't want to get that harsh line up there. And just pretty much just paint it from the roots to the ends. Paint it from the roots to the ends, and make sure you get it in there evenly so that way it can penetrate through the other side of the hair. Remember when I said to keep the bleach at a creamy consistency? You don't want it too thick or too thin, but you want it creamy enough so that way it penetrates through, because if not, then your color will come out very blotchy, and you're just gonna fold the foil and close those packets in. And we're pretty much going to repeat this whole step through the entire process. And another thing I forgot to tell you guys, please, please, please make sure you wear gloves. I always get gloves. I think I forgot to get my gloves on this one, but I'm going to pause the video in a few minutes and I'm going to come back and get my gloves. So don't use any chemicals without wearing gloves. Okay, so what I'm doing here, the reason why I'm mixing another bowl is because the first bowl that I had, I mixed that with 30 developer. And so I believe it was 30 or 20 developer. And this one here, I'm going in with 4 developer. And I'm doing that so I can have a little bit of contrast in the color. So, you know, when you see those, the color dimensions from like dark brown to light browns and blondes, that's how you get that, by mixing your different developers. And again, I'm gonna mix it until I get a smooth consistency. Now with the cream developer, is gonna be a little harder, so you have to put a little more in that developer to make it you know, the nice consistency that you need it to be. Okay, so now I'm about to go in and check the foils. You want to go back in and check it occasionally, because remember, depending on the developer that you're using, they do you know, process pretty fast. It just depends, and there is really no timer to set when you're doing bleach. So just keep that in mind and just go back through and check your foils occasionally. But you can see that it's already lifting up to a nice level. So now we're going to start on the side sections, and we're going to repeat the same technique on both sides. So now we're about to start cutting the bangs. So I like to use this center part here to center my bangs and cut it in the well, not cut it, but section it in a triangle section. And that right there, those lines that I'm pointing to on the side represents the temple area. So that's going to be your stopping point on the triangle part, and you're going to part it from temple to temple and use that centerpiece as your guide to make sure that everything is centered. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to razor cut it, but I like to do a technique where I twist it. And when you twist it like that, it creates the short hairs in the middle, and it goes from short to long on those end pieces. And it gives you a natural fall from going from short to long. And so next, I'm going to use the longest length from my bang and use that as my guide on the side to get those face framing layers. And you're just going to take your razor and start from that the longest length up there, and then you're just going to razor it down to the bottom length, and you're just going to pull the hair from the side down to the bottom. And I like to just kind of shake it out so that way you can see how the layers are falling. So you're just going to kind of give it just a little shake so that way you can see how your layers pretty much are falling. Then we're going to go over to the other side and repeat the exact same steps. So next, we're going to use the silk serum to style it out. So anytime you're doing any color treated hair or any hair in general, you always, always, always want to go in with a good heat protectant. And the silk serum can be found on our website at www.tydaviscollection.com. It is a heat protectant, weightless high gloss serum, and it's also an anti-frizz. So you will always use that on the hair before you put any heat to it, blow drying heat or flat irons. And always be sure to comb the product evenly through the hair. So one thing about hair color is you can never judge its true color when the hair is wet. You always want to wait till the hair is dry so that way you can see it in its truest form and see the true color in the hair. Okay, so now that we're about to get ready to use our heating tools, I'm going to go in with a little bit of silk serum on each section because remember, it's extremely lightweight. It is a weightless high gloss shine serum. So yes, you can still go in and use it section by section, but I would recommend you only use about maybe a pea size per section. And so like most serums, it actually penetrates through the cuticle in the hair, and it actually penetrates through the shaft of the hair. So it doesn't sit on top of the hair, and it doesn't leave it heavy or leave a residue on the hair also. If this video was helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel.